48 hours without water, or without power. Power just came back on. Happy to see the loaches and everybody's doing fine. Looks like we need a water change, but they're definitely happy the water's on. It's my loach recovery tank here. This guy's a little skinny. This tank is full of scuds. Don't know if I'll post the video before this or after it, just showing what the scuds were doing without airflow. They were all accumulating up near the top of the tank, and definitely interesting seeing it now. You don't see the scuds. That really tells you when you see 10, there's probably 10,000. Next tank over here wasn't so good. It's the only tank that I've confirmed fatalities in yet, and that is I had 2 Hillstream loach bodies that I removed from here yesterday. The Pygmy Corys all seem to be hanging in there. Again, happy to have the air pump back on. Don't really notice any shrimp fatalities, so I think they did alright. They don't require as much oxygen. I think the Hillstream loach is just like a little more oxygen. And another thing about this tank is that the surface is covered in plants, which doesn't allow as much oxygen transfer at the surface as a fully open tank. Plus it has only a partial open top, which restricts even more airflow. So I think the accumulation of all that is what caused the problem. But it's unfortunate of the losses. I guess we'll see over the next couple days if there's any more losses. But I did see one healthy Hillstream loach right up here earlier today, so I know that there's at least one alive in there. We'll have to do a little digging around, maybe give it a gravel vac as everything gets back to running here, and see what I come up with. Over here at my Cull Guppy, male Cull Guppy tank, Kuhli loaches in here. Don't see any of them out. Plus some of my odd shrimp culls are in here, but a bunch of CPDs, if I didn't mention that. This tank's doing fine, didn't have any problems. Everybody here's happy and healthy. This one did have quite a few floating plants on it as well, but the guppies and loaches definitely don't require much. The Kuhli loaches and guppies do pretty well in ponds, so they did all right. And the shrimp, well, they do fine as well. I was worried about it getting extremely hot and maybe killing the shrimp off, and it did get hotter than it normally gets in here, but nobody died so far, at least in here. This is one of my CPD breeding tanks. Just mostly have a bunch of I see a blue, got to cull him out. But these reds are from my blue line. There's some morphs, but I see one of them has reverted back to blue. I'll have to cull him. I also have some kind of a deep burgundy, purplish colored shrimp that I'm lining out. But here's my CPD breeder basket. A couple scuds hanging out. But I've tried to keep scuds out of this tank, but without much luck. Down in there's the CPDs in that basket. Greenwater tank. That's of course doing well, and I look along the bottom here, I don't see any bodies, at least fish bodies. But took the portal out, making the improved design, working on that. Not sure if I'll do a live stream on that or a video or just both. My Paramecium mosquito tank is doing quite well. Can't see with all the scum on top there, but I just threw in a couple apples in here about a week ago and got a little ripe, and got a lot of little Infusoria Paramecium in there to feed fry. Also lots of scuds. And I net it out almost daily, trying to see if there's any mosquito larvae and feed my tanks. We're going to end with the best tank, of course, or at least my favorite. But until then, this is my Albino Guppy tank. They didn't even think anything was going on, but their water filter hasn't really ran anyhow in months, just kind of sometimes a little drip. But this tank did well. And then my Japanese Blue Guppy Endler crosses, they did well down here. Another window tank. No fatalities that I've seen at all yet. I did test the water on these tanks about an hour ago, and this one is showing a little bit of nitrates. The only other ones, well, the main community tank, which is coming up here, it had fairly high nitrates. And then then actually my other Cull Guppy tank here, oops, no fatalities here either. You'll see everyone's fat and sassy, but nitrates were a little elevated in this tank. I had the lid off to help with oxygen exchange, but yeah, they almost didn't even know anything was going on. And then lastly here, the community tank. Got my celery, all sorts of plants, a bunch of spider plants I have in here. They work really good in hanging back filters. Just throw the roots in there and take care of a lot of nitrates. This big plant, whatever it is, growing off the nub of this stump that's kind of sticking out of the water, it blooms sometimes, but I'm actually going to remove it, and I think I'm going to try to fill this tank up a little bit higher. But as we look here, guppies are happy. Looks like there is a dead shrimp there. Pea Puffer here. I don't know how happy he is, but at least he's got water flow again. A little bit. There's another Pea Puffer hiding right there. They love that rotala. Oh, got another Pea Puffer here, big mama. But again, the water just came on, maybe 20 minutes ago. No, I said water again. Power. Wow. And I'm thinking at some point when I can afford it, I really want to get some of those Aquarium Co-op backup air pumps and put them on a mode where they just think they do air for 15 minutes and then 15 minutes off to buy you more time. But you know, I lucked out on this one. I would have lost more, than it definitely would have been well worth the investment of those pumps, but I could see how something like that could save you some money. Yeah, I hope this guy gets a little more lively. I hide in here. I think they're cute. Oh, you can see two of them back here now. There's one here, one here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 that are right out. Rarely see all of them. See the big old mama. Her sister's in here somewhere. Right over here. Super old guppy mamas. Well, that's it for the update. Thank you to anyone who stayed and watched and got to see how well it went. You know, I don't normally run a bunch of filtration or air. This one I have more just to have some current. I have that water head there. It spins the water around this tank. Then I use all the plants on this end as the filter. But it does have a sponge on it, which I use to keep fry from getting in there. I also use that for harvesting scuds from the sponge. So I put it in a cup and squeeze it out and let it dry, and all the scuds come wiggling out. But I'm going to call it for tonight. Any other updates could be coming along. Please subscribe and ask questions. If you had any questions about this tank or any of the tanks that we looked at today, drop it in the comments and maybe I can make a video about it or just simply answer your question. Thank you. Bye.